You seem to be here making a case for your wrong prediction. Why you
the
got it
game
wrong
was
as opposed to
the game was quite boring. I actually fell asleep at one point.
Welcome to another episode of Ultra Edge, the West Indies cricket fan show by fan test in Antigua, and is ended in a draw. It's all over. It's done and dusted. Is ended in a draw. It's all over. It's done and dusted. 0-0 is the score. If this was football, we'll be headed into extra time, but this is test cricket, and that's it. The series is finished. So today I have with me Predictor Paul, who got it all wrong. And then we have, for the first time, our newest guest to the show, the banker, Kevin. Welcome, Kevin and Paul. And of course, I have again my man, top fan, Ezzy. So we'll start with you, Paul. So what are your thoughts for today? What do you think happened? Things could have happened better. What do you think your overall views for this fifth day?
First of all, this is probably one of the most boring fifth day games we had. The wicket really didn't help fifth day bowling. Given that we've been playing cricket on this pitch for a while, we had Super 50 on this pitch. We had the ODI series, and we also had the first day test. Not necessarily on this particular wicket, but
T20s too, Paul. Don't forget T20s.
I think T20s were in the college at the other ground.
They were at Stanford.
Oh yes, I'm wrong. Yes. I'm sorry, Paul.
Correct.
You're correct.
So even if it wasn't playing on the same pitch, it had the wear and tear from running on the pitch and whatever. And even with all of that, still the pitch is rather flat. You ain't really giving the assistance to the spinners that you would thought would happen. And given that Craig would have started saying that he would have batted first, I was thinking that he was going on the idea that he had this fifth day pitch would have really helped the bowlers. So my idea when he predicted that we would have won this game was that, this wicket would have really reacted to the spinners and to the bowlers, and it was just a dead game.
So, Paul, it was thoughts on the game, not defending your wrong prediction, but you seem to be here making a case for your wrong prediction. Why you got it wrong as opposed to
the game was quite boring. I actually fell asleep at one point. The Sri Lankans at the beginning, it seemed like they were really trying to, keep the run rate at some point, but then I don't know if they reconsidered it at one point and said, well, let's hold it for the draw. But outside of that, I guess after the drop catch, I think that the guys kind of lost it because they needed to take every single chance, half chance, whatever chance they got, they had to take it. Had to take it. And from that time, I think the game was over.
Right. So thanks there, Predictor. The banker, Kevin, what are your thoughts on today and the game as a whole? Kevin, you might need to unmute there.
Yeah, so coming out of yesterday, I think that the guys pretty much, they came today with the intention to pretty much get a good win. And it's unfortunate that we put ourselves in a position where 370 odd, there's no way that was going to happen on a 50 in terms of persons chasing it down. You can do certain tactics to make sure that doesn't happen. They'll have to take a lot of chances. And once they started to take chances, then it would have opened up an opportunity for us to win the game. What I think that Sri Lanka did is understood that they know where they are as it relates to the standings right now. They're one above us. The only way that they go one below is if they lose the series. I think that they started to say, okay, we need to do a conservative approach and just curb it back a little bit. I think that if at the outset, they were super positive, there was a possibility that we would have gotten some chances in between there. As Paul indicated, if the mere fact that we didn't take chances right at the start, I said earlier today that we needed to have umpire decisions going in our favor. We need to take chances. You needed to have all of those things happening.
You needed to have everything.
Yeah, momentum, everything in order for that to
going
work.
yeah.
There's elastic pitch still look really fresh. People batting on it easy. It would have been great to see Cornwall, who's our leading spinner, given a little bit more trouble. I know as he has a soft spot for Blackwood. I think that he did okay as well, but it would have been good if we had seen our like leading spinners, doing
Come into the
something.
game a little more.
Coming into the game.
And top five as he wanted to play two spinners, but we'll get to him in a second. But just say, yeah, it was pretty much some dull cricket. I would agree with predictor there. It was really snoozy. Perfect Good Friday test match. You get to have your lunch and a good sleep afterward. So as he coming to you now, highlight standouts for the day. As he's struggling.
It's struggling.
Like Cornwall to get turned today. It was a struggle, man.
I honestly struggling to find a highlight for the day.
So we pitch it to the predictor banker. Any standouts for the day? Any highlights for the day at all? Anything?
For me, I would say that over from Mears. He got the wicket. I mean, he was swinging the ball around, and then the final ball he pitched on straight, which was a really good. But
Marshall would have been proud.
Very Marshall-esque is correct, my God.
No,
I guess the issue was that we were experimenting with our own bowlers, on the front-on bowlers. So, for example, Gabriel, Alzari, Holder. So then we came to, okay, we experiment with those and we were unsuccessful. Or we got Roach as well. I found that, okay, let's try Mears now. And it's kind of difficult to really predict who is going to really make an impact, especially on this pitch. So unfortunately, as I said before, you had to be really lucky. You had to really make every single decision right.
So out of all those overs today, predictor, there was one standout, one over. That was the highlight for the day. That pretty much sums up the match, and the pitch took the game away from the two teams. So low lights, guys.
Let me talk about that over a little more, because first three balls actually, Mears took it away. The fourth ball, he made the batsman play. And then the fifth ball is the one that he darted in for the LBW. But it wasn't only that over, because remember, Mears had a review overturned before that. So yes, I forgot Mears, because sometimes when you have such a day, that
such exciting cricket,
to want to forget.
No, the one over.
The thing about it though is, when you look at it, we went into this test match, we went into this series actually with people giving me heat, saying that Mears isn't a bowler. And it was like, this guy was playing as a bowling all-rounder in his youth, played as a bowling all-rounder for Windwards, came back to Barbados, had an ankle injury, and played Barbados as a batsman primarily. Went Bangladesh, didn't take any wickets, and if you notice the team construction in Bangladesh, he was one of the frontline bowlers. And then all of a sudden, he's gone to be the fifth bowler in the team. And today, he went down to like seventh bowler for this innings. And I think that when you look at it, that the team selection had a lot to do with why we ended up in the position we were in this match. So we didn't
have the extra slow
bowler option
or slow bowler option. Well, I mean, one of the things that we could actually think about is how Bradford has used his bowlers as well. I think he's actually experimented a lot more than I've seen from our recent captains.
Me, Jason Holder.
Well, when I say recent, it's not just Jason. It's not just Jason, but we tend to, even prior to Jason, I think that we were kind of in a position where we were only using people who were classified as frontline bowlers. right, and bowling them right down. I think that Bradford has actually been a lot more experimentative than what we've seen before, and in this case would have been with Jason. And then we need to look at Bradford, in terms of particularly for this match. After being made as captain, being captain in the last match and pretty much having a failure as a batsman, to come into this match and to put up his hand when some people would have been calling for his head, saying that he hasn't been producing the runs, but he produced 100 and he stabilized the innings in the first innings, and he also produced a half century in the second innings, and he showed, even though it was still slow in a way, he put some urgency in terms of his own batting. And also we have to remember we had 100 lead. That is not a lot of runs in the big score of things. So he had that stability when we lost 2 wickets at the top of the order, and then pushed on through. So from his perspective, I think he had a good game and he deserved the man of the match.
Yeah, so he's definitely a highlight for the banker. Yeah. All right, guys. Any particular lowlights? My lowlight is the pitch. You guys can take over from here. Any lowlights?
My lowlight is kind of opposite to Kevin. I thought that we could have pushed on a little more coming on after lunch. I think we'd have gone a significant yesterday. Yes, we should have pushed on a little faster. I think we were still in the same frame of mind from pre-lunch. So I think that the low light, we could have really maximized the runs during that time. We recognized that the wicket was not really doing much. So we could have really put a little more effort into
and try to get more time in trying to bowl out the Sri Lankans.
Correct. No, I understand the position they may have came from because Bonner was injured. So you didn't want to take too many risks with one batsman down, already playing 5 bowlers. So I understood the rationale for taking it a little easy. But the idea is that we wanted to declare between T and the end of the day. So you didn't really have much time to really think about it. We needed to win. And I guess this is only from hindsight. My prediction from last time we had a show, I was on the show, I said that we need to have 10 overs. That was kind of wrong. I think we needed at least 20 overs yesterday. And
in order to
really put some inroads, and we need to be lucky.
All right, guys. So all field moments, anything that grabbed you off the field.
You ain't doing me and low lights.
well, Ezzy, we're pressed for time here. We're going to do our post-match show.
Yeah, but I ain't gonna get a low light for today, man. My low light.
Go if you're a low light, Ezzy.
Yeah, my low light today. I agree with you fully. The pitch. I got a friend in Antigua that do a lot of walking named Shaq, and my suggestion to him is the next time that he is in that area to walk with a fork and dig up that pitch, because we can't deal with that anymore, man. We want games with a result.
It's like the ARG too, right?
Yeah. He's not new around the ARG, but I was saying
Return of the Living Dead.
A little more and do it a favor, because we got done with that sort of pitch, man. We need.
So, Shah, if you're listening, please do not do what Ezra has advised you to do. We do not have enough budget to bail you out. However, the sentiment is taken. All right, guys. So finally, wrapping up the show, overall performance of the West Indies team in this test series. What do you give them out of 10? Quickly, over to you, banker.
I'll give them a 6.5. And that's just because I want more from them, but they definitely have a passing grade overall. Some did better than others. 6.5, 7 maximum.
6.5 from the banker. Ezzy, over to you.
I go with a 7, a little better. Yeah,
7 for Ezzy.
This is the 4th test game in a row that we have not lost.
Which is good.
So I given them a 7, even though we haven't moved up the rankings. I'll take the 7.
All right, and finally, Predictor Paul.
I will give them a 7.5, given that we had some decisions that didn't go our way. As he would have talked about the umpiring decisions that were, a little hazy.
Dubious.
Yeah, and also the wicket really didn't play a part in helping us to win. I think the bowlers did a reasonable job majority of the test series, and the batsmen really showed up. Mears really showed up. Rafiq showed up on the second test. We had some really good performances, and we got to remember this is nothing normal for West Indies cricket. So I have to give them 7.5. On another day, I would give them 8, but 7.5 is for me.
7.5 from Predictor Paul. Thank you so much, guys, for coming. This is Ultra Edge, the West Indies Cricket Fan Show on WicfaTV on YouTube. Like, subscribe. Know what you have to do to get this content. So this is a post-match show. This is us now finishing this particular series. As you know, the West Indies have a little break now while the IPL takes over. We'll be back to do a post-series show where we look at all the varying teams and their performances from the T20s right the way back down in the Sri Lankan tour. And then we'll come back and do another IPL, West Indies in the IPL, throughout the IPL. So thank you so much for coming, Predictor Paul. We've had the banker Hines and the one and only top fan, Ezzy. Thank you so much, guys. We're over and out.